I am very lucky once again to be joined by Fiona Batchelor from Kent Library Service. Fiona was here a few weeks ago and talked to us about all the amazing things that Kent Library Service do. Some of the amazing things, there are more, but she's back again today to talk to us about National Libraries Week. So thanks so much for coming back, Fiona. It's great to see you again.
No problem. Yeah, lovely to see you too. Thank you for having me back.
Anytime. So what's going on with, it's actually National Libraries Week, isn't it? And I'm sure we're involved in Kent.
It is. It's Libraries Week, and it's Libraries Week all over the country. And in Kent, we will be celebrating it as much as we always have done and as much as everybody else is. The theme of this year's Libraries Week is Taking Action, Changing Lives, which is celebrating the central role that libraries play in their community. It's a driver for inclusion, sustainability, social mobility and community cohesion, which is kind of, in a nutshell, it is just about making sure that everybody is welcome, that we are here, that we do what we can to make a change, and we take action to just make our libraries as inclusive and sustainable and as socially diverse and, you know, as we possibly can, particularly things like digital inclusion and community inclusion and all sorts of things like that.
Oh, that sounds great. With the digital inclusion, actually, I'm just interested. Do you are those sort of things where you can help people that are less digitally able? Are there people that can help with that?
Absolutely, yeah, we are. We actually, just at the moment, we are looking to try and relaunch our Touch a New World service. Now, it may be under a different name at the point that it does relaunch, but what Touch a New World was before, obviously, the lockdowns and the changes, is where we have a pool of technology that has been basically, it was a grant from the, oh, I want to get this right, but I think it was the Arts Council. That was it, the Arts Council. And they gave us a big grant, and we got a pool of technology, and we have a pool of laptops, and a volunteer will come in and get some training. So volunteers will come in and get some training on using the iPad. They then take that iPad into people's homes. Obviously, our volunteers were all DBS checked and fully checked and trained and everything, and then they can be there to support getting people online, and anything from how to log in, how to make a call, how to make a Zoom call, a video call, how to do shopping online, how to order birthday cards, how to do their banking, and there's all sorts of modules that we go through. There's about 8 modules, and at the end of it, they feel more confident and they are able to use the digital one. We then recommend different packages of that they could potentially go. So nothing that we do, we don't sell it. Obviously, we're not sales, but we can signpost towards the right technology for them, so that they can then stay online. So those people who might not be able to leave their home, those people who are isolated, vulnerable, they don't have they have mobility issues, they can't get to their local library or their local shops. It is bringing that digital inclusion into their homes, and we're really proud that as the library service, that's something that we can help contribute to.
That's brilliant. Yeah. And as you say, well, one of those things that I certainly would not have realised as part of the library service, but it's being, flagged up as all of the things that you do in Libraries Week. Are there any particular events going on at the Maidstone Library?
So what we've got going on at the moment, so as our district, the Maidstone district, had lots of regular events running. Some of them were staff-led, some of them were volunteer-led. And our volunteer-led activities, where we have volunteers available, are coming back. They are coming back into our libraries this week. So we wanted to do it this week because the restrictions all dropped in August time, at which point we didn't necessarily have the capacity to kind of get everything back to normal. We needed to write risk assessments based on what the government guidance was, which of course you don't get until the very last minute. So we needed to give ourselves time, and we thought, well, why not wait for Libraries Week, where it's a real celebration, big social media push as well, lots of posters in our libraries, and we've started to reintroduce our physical activities, and that's rhyme times, talk times, knit and natters, crafts and chats, book groups, and they're all meeting again in our libraries where possible. Some libraries don't have events, some of them may not have volunteers or staff capacity, but we are working towards that. So it's, and as I say, we've got a big social media push, so if you are interested, you can go to our Maidstone Libraries Facebook page, or the kent.gov.uk/libraries website, and you can find out all about it.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. So that's all tied in with the Libraries Week. I am still luckily joined by Fiona Batchelor from the Kent Library Service, who has been talking to us about Libraries Week, but is also here to tell us about the BIPC. What is the BIPC, Fiona? It sounds exciting.
BIPC, well, I'm going to try my hardest to get this right, because it is
Notice I sidestepped it.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant, but it's a massive learning curve for me. So we are launching, particularly as it is Libraries Week, and it's a great opportunity to plug what we've got and our new stuff as well. We are launching the Kent Libraries Business and Intellectual Property Centre, which is what the BIPC is. So the council has been allocated an amount of money by the Treasury to equip the Kent History and Library Centre, which is the big library in Maidstone, with business and IP centre spaces, resources and services. So in a nutshell, it's basically understanding the vital role of trademarks, patents, things like business research, understanding markets and industries. And what they'll be doing is, so they'll have all of that information that they can then give to business startups, people who want to start their own businesses, and people with businesses, they want to grow their businesses. And what we're also going to have is workshops to develop practical skills in business. And we are hoping, and I'm sure we will, the business centre will provide us help and support for small businesses and entrepreneurs around Kent, which
That
is
sounds
really
fantastic.
exciting.
Definitely. It sounds so tricky to be solely in charge of starting up your whole new business, your whole new idea. You've put your heart and soul behind it, but obviously, everybody needs a bit of help and a bit of guidance along the way. So it sounds like, the Business and Intellectual Property Centre is going to be there to do that. So the virtual launch this week, is that right? And then the physical space is going to be ready.
So the virtual launch is this week. So if you're interested, if you go to kent.gov.uk/libraries, find out more about your library. In fact, even better than that, go to the social media page, Kent Libraries Registrations and Archives. They have got a virtual launch on there that takes you through to our website, and like our specific BIPC section of our website. So that's the best thing to do, is go to the Facebook page, find the post about the BIPC, click through, and it will tell you all about it. So it's a virtual launch now. There will be some physical space in the Kent History and Library Centre in Maidstone, which will be a drop-in centre and a space for these workshops and things like that. The work for that hasn't started yet, but I understand it's in the offing, and it will hopefully be underway very, very soon, and which means that we will have a physical presence as well.
Brilliant. I can't wait to go and have a little look at that, but I'll be looking online as well. Now, earlier you were saying, as part of Libraries Week, which is very exciting, there are some of the events like the Rhyme Times, or was it the Knit and Chat, that are kind of starting up again in the libraries?
Absolutely. So those volunteers who obviously feel comfortable, there is still an element of, feeling there's a concern, I still think, to be in an enclosed space with big groups of people. So we are very much leaving it to the volunteers to decide if they want to come back. Some are absolutely desperate to come back because it's so fulfilling for them as well. They love volunteering, they love coming in. They've not been happy not being able to come in. It's been a real shame. We might have got them to help us with other things like our home library service or our befriending, and so we've been keeping in touch with them. But those who, our Rhyme Time hosts and our Story Time hosts and our Talk Time hosts and all of those, we've contacted them all. We've asked them if they're happy to come back. We've obviously checked all their DBS checks, so everything's all up to date. We've written risk assessments and some frequently asked questions, and just kind of given them all the information that they need just for them to feel happy, you know, guidance on face coverings. You know, we can't enforce it, but we can encourage it. And if it's very much something from group to group. But we want to put everybody's mind at rest. We want people to come in and feel safe and feel included. So we've had lots of work working with them, and those who are able to come back and are happy to come back, they're starting up their groups this week. So we've had Maginford talk time, that was on Tuesday. That went really, really well. We had 12 people turn up, and our community warden Sally, who's an absolute sweetheart, she came along as well, so that was brilliant. We've got we've got rhyme time on Friday at both Coxheath and Marden Library, which is brilliant. Marden is parent-led, Coxheath is staff-led, but only because there are 2 people there on a Friday afternoon, so we're very lucky on that. We don't always have 2 people working on the same day in the same library, but on that occasion we do, which is why we've moved it to a Friday. I think we've also got talk times. We have Craft and Chatter at Bearsted Library, that's on Friday as well. And Knit and Natter, which was today at Staplehurst Library. And then we've got book groups. I couldn't name all of them and I couldn't name all their times, but we have got book groups returning in almost all 11 physical libraries, which is absolutely amazing. And they're all coming back either around this week or actually during this week. And that is really, really, really thrilling. And everybody's been back. We had, a book group at Coxheath on Tuesday, and all of them had such lovely positive feedback for us. So we're thrilled.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but it's and understanding exactly what you say about some people not feeling comfortable, and understandably, but those that are feeling comfortable getting back together, it kind of gives me goose pimples still, seeing groups of people getting back together, particularly community groups, and being able to support each other. I mean, I'm a bad one for being a bit over emotional anyway, but it keeps choking me up, I swear.
I was working at Marden Library on Saturday morning, and our book group came back Saturday morning at Marden. There were 8 of them. And at the same time, I think we had about 7 or 8 children in with their families. We had a few people coming in because we got a little local history section. And I was almost in tears. I was like, the library is so busy. I was so happy. I don't normally staff the libraries, but because we're recruiting right now, which is very exciting as well. There's always change. That change happens every few years after a pandemic. Sadly, there's people retiring, things like that. So we are in a sort of, we need to keep the doors open. So sometimes I'm there at the front desk, which I absolutely love. And it was just full. It was full of people. It was completely delightful. And it was just, it was buzzing. And it was the first time it's been that buzzing because of the groups and because everyone was in at the same time. It was wonderful. So we want more of that. We do need to recruit some more volunteers. We are obviously just finishing our recruitment on staff, and then we'll be able to put rhyme times and story times and talk times where there aren't some already. So we're always open to ideas. If people want a rhyme time to start or a story time, they can just go to their local library and show their interest, because that is the start of it. That is us going, right, we need to get a volunteer
Oh, well, then I'm going to be rounding up the mums in Headcorn, and we're going to go and pop in, which I already do with my 2-year-old, and say, is there any chance of a rhyme time or a story time? Because we love going in. It's such a lovely little children's area there, and the adult area, of course, but with a 2-year-old I spend most of the time with the crayons and with the kids' books. Of course. It's so welcoming and so lovely. So so if people were interested in volunteering, is the best place to go on Facebook again, probably?
If you're interested in volunteering for our libraries, the best thing is to just go straight to it. So we have, again, that www.kent.gov.uk/libraries, and click on libraries, and then click on volunteering in libraries. It gives you information, and then it has the application form. The application form is online. If you can't get online, then pop to your local library, show your interest, and they can help you go through that process.
That's perfect. Well, Fiona, thank you so much for joining us again. To our listeners, hopefully Fiona will be back more regularly to tell us all the fantastic things that are happening in the libraries. So we're very lucky to have her. And we'll see you again soon.
Definitely. See you again soon. Thank you so much.